That right there is a new lineup of big full-size truck-based SUVs. The all-new 2025 Nissan Armada and the first ever Pro 4X Armada. I'm here in Tennessee. This is the first drive event. Nissan says it's all new vehicle, new chassis, new frame, new suspension, new interior, new design, new styling, and a new engine. So I want to put it to the test, off-road and on-road. So let's see how the new Armada does. All right, so I'm in the Pro 4X Armada right now. The first ever Pro 4X. Thank you, Nissan. But there is a reason why I'm going sideways, and it's because I'm near Nashville, Tennessee, and this area received about 4 inches of rain over the last day and a half. So there's some mud and moisture and slippery terrain. I'm in mud and ruts mode because we are going to be hitting lots and lots of Tennessee mud. And a couple of things. So I said first ever, right? Nissan is not new to off-roading. I mean, they've had the Pro 4X Xterra SUVs, they've had Pro 4X Frontiers, they currently have Pro 4X Frontier, they had Pro 4X Titans. It's really their name for off-road capability. And here we are in the backwoods, pretty crazy stuff. And okay. So I'm used to dry off-roading, rock crawling, very sharp rocks. I'm not always used to really a lot of mud. I'm on Geolander tires and I'm in 4 high. So it has all-wheel drive mode and of course 4 low as well, which I will try pretty soon. But kind of the dangerous part about this trail is that you could go sideways at any point. So you have to maintain a little bit of momentum. And here's the other thing. So these tires they're 33s. They're about 10.8 inches wide. It's basically a 275 60 on a 20-inch wheel, R20s. And I think really the 20-inch wheel is really meant for style, right? But I'm glad that this is at least a 33-inch tall tire, because you do want as much clearance as possible and you do want just as much traction as possible. So if you do want to air down, then you can do it, but we did not air down for this. While the size of this new Armada is about the same as before as far as the exterior dimension, the styling is all new. And the frame is new and stiffer. The Pro 4X is a brand new trim level, and we've been asking for this for years, and you have been asking for this for years. Make a dedicated specialty off-road version of this 3-row full-size truck-based SUV. We've got support vehicles here. Under the hood is a twin-turbo V6. I'll show that to you later. Here's what the interior looks like. And let me show you some of the tech. Let me jump in here. So the steering wheel is new. You can see leather red accents. This is a Pro 4X model. I've got dual 14.2-inch screens. I have lots of cameras. I can select different views and actually very high resolution as well. And I can also have see-through hood and expand it all the way. I also have lots of buttons, lots of driving modes, and I love this. I don't like this too much. The basically piano key transmission shifter, even though the reverse has a big bump and the drive manual mode for the 9-speed automatic has a tiny bump. I can kind of feel it like braille, but it's still not, I'm still not used to it after about, I don't know, half an hour in this vehicle. But I love all the other switches. Very easy to understand, very easy to see. So here's what I was talking about. The tires are clearing some mud, but there's a lot of mud that we're experiencing. And right now there's another little challenge. They're gonna block my windscreen, and I have to kind of make it around those obstacles up there. Are you gonna blind me?
Yes.
All right, so you're just covering the windscreen,
Just the
right? Okay. Actually, back in the day, Roman and Nathan did something similar. We covered, I think it was an Infiniti car. We covered all the glass in basically paper and used the 360-degree cameras to navigate around the parking lot. So here's the thing about cameras, right? Every camera is a two-dimensional, really, image. Unless you have stereo cameras and you can do some sort of three-dimensional depth perception. So the depth perception is not great. I think this is the highest resolution. So I see the front image and I see the image next to each tire, and there's a red line. So I'm assuming the red line is kind of where my out mirrors are. And if I can place my tires precisely over this little bridge, it will be a miracle. A small miracle. Well, actually, I can. Look at this. I'm driving over these, and there's almost an inch on each side. I mean, that's quite impressive. I cannot believe how comfortable I'm getting without seeing through my windscreen. This is pretty impressive. All right, so now it's time to tow a trailer. So this was provided by Nissan. They hooked up this Airstream trailer, which is fairly long, just kind of under 30 feet, all the way with the tongue. They set up the weight distribution here. You could see they removed the little cover, the bumper cover, but this hitch looks to be really easily reachable for the chain hooks and your breakaway cable. This is the safety, and also the 7-pin connector is quite easy to find. Everything is good. Here, 8,500 pound maximum towing capacity. And this trailer, they tell me they estimate this at about 6,500 pounds. So we're not fully maxed out, but still giving this Armada quite the test. Now, before I take off, I want to show you the towing setups. First of all, this truck is already turned on and running. I use this dial to go to tow haul mode, and it's got air suspension. This is a Pro 4X, and it's also self-leveled. So, with the trailer hooked up, which is a nice feature. Here under settings, this is within my main menus here. Under settings, you use this little dial, and you go to towing settings. And you could actually add trailer or select trailer. And I added, for example, a boat, my Taiga trailer or Airstream trailer. This is the Airstream that the guys here at Nissan's, you could check it, edit settings. You can rename it, you can edit the length or delete it. So this is set up for blind spot monitoring up to 30 feet. This trailer is just within that, so that's pretty nice. But there's a couple of things. So when you select a trailer, it doesn't remember the gain. This says C, so it's about 6. Sorry, it's kind of pulsating here. It won't remember the gain, so you have to double check it, which is a good safety measure. But some other vehicles actually have that already stored, and it also won't remember the distance you're towing with this trailer or the MPG of this trailer. So I like that they're going here and also have a trailer brake controller easily accessible, but I think they could add more features and maybe actually show it in this screen as well with maybe a few more graphics. But at least They do have multiple trailer up to 10. And yeah, so I'm ready to go. I was just talking to Ryan and the engineering team. Ryan, they do a lot of real world tuning and testing of their new vehicles. They did a lot of tuning and testing with this new Armada, including the how this engine, this new 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 is mated to this 9-speed automatic. And I want to see a couple things. I want to see in tow haul mode, which I am in now. I want to see if it allows for grade shifting. Will it slow me down just the way I like? Of course, I'm not in Colorado, I'm not at home, so I'm not able to show you a night gauntlet World's Toughest Towing Test quite right now. That's to come. And but at least this is the first impression about how the power is delivered. 425 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. This is over 100 pound-feet more than the old V8. All right, let me accelerate. Wow, it revs to almost 6,000. And you know what? That 6,500 pound trailer, you know, it accelerated with confidence. It's almost like the trailer is not really there. I mean, I could tell a bit of a difference, of course, if the trailer wasn't there, but still a lot of torque, a lot of acceleration. That's kind of what you want in a truck. This seat feels really nice. They're calling these, once again, zero gravity. They've had them for many, many years in different vehicles. Now this technology, this kind of foam technology in the way the seat is designed, it's entering here. So I'm going to about 50 miles an hour, which is the speed limit, and I want to see stability. It's great that this is still a body-on-frame SUV. Why is this great? Well, first of all, you have kind of isolation and separation between the chassis and the body. The way the body is mounted to the frame, you can kind of isolate that and make sure you're not hearing like the hitch banging or moving around, or maybe your weight distribution bars moving around a little bit. And I'm not hearing any of this. If this was a unibody crossover or SUV, maybe a smaller crossover, you may hear that, and I have heard that. For example, an older Dodge Durango, you can often hear. See, I just went over a bump, didn't really hear much. You're a little bit isolated. The mirrors are standard, not tow mirrors, so you have to be mindful of this. We are towing a camping trailer. It's an Airstream. It's pretty wide. It's basically should be about 8.5 feet wide, and as such, these mirrors may not be always enough. So you may actually get an extension if you're towing a boat. This may not be a problem because most boats start as a point and you can see more around them. If this was a true pickup truck, you could have an optional towing mirror, but at least not available just on this one. All right, let's discuss pricing of the all-new 2025 Armada. So this is really a good story because this all-new generation of the SUV maintains its base price for a dual-drive Armada. It's way under 60,000 bucks. It's at about 58,000 and change, including $2,010 destination charge. The destination charge is pretty huge, but nonetheless, it's under 59,000 to start for a dual drive 2025 Armada, which is identical price to where it was before in the previous gen, which is excellent news. For a four-wheel drive Armada base, you're gonna be a little bit closer to 60,000 bucks, but if you look at pricing of the Chevy Tahoe, the best seller in this class, the Ford Expedition, the Jeep Wagoneer, Jeep Wagoneer is kind of close as far as starting prices to this Armada, but Toyota Sequoia is over 60 grand to start, around 64 actually. The new Tahoe is also around 64. The new Expedition 2025 model also around 64, 65 grand. So this comes in many thousands of dollars under some of those competitors. And I think now you could take notice. Of course, this one, the Pro 4X one, the four-wheel drive one I'm driving, with lots of luxury features and off-road tech, this one will set you back closer to 80, so about 70, starting at around like 75,000 plus a couple of options you can add to it. You can get close to 80,000, and the same price approximately for the Platinum Reserve Luxury Armada. There's also, of course, the SV, SL models, several different trims. So those are kind of the prices, but overall this is a compelling argument for the Armada because you can get into one for several $1,000s less than most of its competition. So that's a really great point. Here's one complaint I do have about the new Armada. The rear hatch is a one piece. So the cool part is that the windshield wiper is hidden. It's up there, but this glass doesn't open separately from the hatch. And as you can see here, if I try to open the hatch, it has a chance of coming in contact with this trailer tongue on this particular trailer. So I don't want to try it right now. This is not my vehicle or my trailer, but it would be nice to have the glass open by itself, or have like a two-piece design where like a tailgate plus upper glass, so something like that. So I think I could make a, if that was done, I think this SUV would be super nice. And now I am inside of the new 2025 Armada Platinum Reserve. This is the top dog luxury version of the Armada. And you may have noticed that I'm not touching the steering wheel and my feet are not touching the pedals. I'm using the ProPilot 2.1 hands-free, eyes on the road system. So I do have to pay attention. If I look away at you for a long time, I'll get a little beep reminding me that I need to keep looking forward. And I've actually tested, as far as big SUVs or pickup trucks are concerned, every single available system, including the Tesla FSD supervised in a Cybertruck. And I gotta tell you, all of them have kind of pluses and minuses. For the longest time, General Motors Super Cruise has been my favorite because you could use it like this or also towing a trailer. It was very smooth, centered, and very confident on divided highways. I am on a divided highway right now, and I gotta say, this feels very similar to the Super Cruise. It's not overly sensitive, so like I've been looking at you for a few seconds and the system is actually maintaining control and not freaking out. It's monitoring my eyes. There is a little sensor right here on the steering column, and it's not bouncing in the lane, and it's actually centered in the lane. The RAM hands-off system sometimes prefers the left line of the lane for some reason, no matter where you are. And then the Blue Cruise tends to be a little bit nervous if you look away, or sometimes it comes in and out on some highways. This system appears to be very stable. Of course, Tesla FSD is something else. FSD actually uses navigation to take you to your location in hands-free mode. You still have to pay attention, but that system will actually drive anywhere, or try to drive anywhere, including cities, slow speed roads, narrow roads, even sometimes on dirt roads like we tested. But that full self-driving system doesn't use radar, it uses cameras only, and it can make mistakes. This system, of course, I haven't tested for a long time, but right now it seems to be spot on. So that's very good news. ProPilot 2.1 system costs what, just under $3,000, so you do have to pay for it, this hands-free system. And let me try to change lanes, or actually let me see if it'll change lanes for me. Change lanes left. It suggested it. It didn't do it by itself. Okay. So like a Super Cruise would do that maneuver by itself. Let me see if I use my blinker again. It changed lanes back, but it wants me to help it change lanes. So maybe it's not quite as advanced as Super Cruise, but nonetheless a really good system. By the way, I'm also using my massaging seat. That's a pretty nice feature. A lot of big luxury SUVs now have this, and the new Armada also has it. I have a heated or ventilated seat. I have a heated steering wheel if I wanted it. So there's quite a lot going on here, and also very comfortable. And as I finish my little loop here in this Platinum Reserve, I wanted to let you know about my trip meter and what my computer is saying as far as efficiency. 23.5 MPG in this fully optioned four-wheel drive Armada. I'm impressed. If 23.4 now, I'm impressed because if this is true, I mean, it could be 1 MPG off. It's a brand new pre-production vehicle, but if this is true, that's a humongous improvement. I mean, the EPA rating on the previous generation Armada was between 18 and 19 MPG on the highway in that big V8. If this is 23, then, you know, that's a humongous, like 20% improvement, maybe more. So that's good news. It is. I went about 38.8 miles in 47 minutes. My average speed was 48 miles per hour and 23.3. So at higher speeds, if this was a road trip, this number would have been a little bit lower probably. But I was in eco mode. You could see it right here, and there's plenty other modes to choose from, so that's quite nice. But overall, my first impression is very positive. I can see all the work that Nissan has done with this SUV as far as the driving refinement, the suspension system, the affordability, even though that was kind of a limited opportunity for me today because of all the mud. We couldn't go as far as we wanted to, and very attractive price, especially on the base models. They're undercutting competition by quite a huge margin. So I think it's definitely worth checking out when you're cross-shopping it against the others. The Tahoe, the Expedition, the Wagoneer, the Sequoia, all of the above. So I think it's great vehicle, great redesign. I need to test it a little bit more in Colorado, and then we'll see how it does. Check out oldtfl.com for everything automotive in one place, and I will see you next time.